We're going to talk about the Global Bay iPad kiosk solution and its components. The two components are the iPad software and the web management console that's used to power and control the iPad itself. So we'll start with the iPad software. Now what you'll notice is it's running an ad loop, which is totally configurable by the web management console. So here's a sample kiosk that allows you to look at the capabilities of the software out of the box. For example, we can run the running fit guide. This is usually a scenario that's used by retailers if they want to help guide a consumer in the store through a specific process. You'll notice that this is an actual decision tree, which ultimately leads to a product of choice. You can always hit the home button up top and go back to the main screen. You could look at product listings, open up websites, or even sign up for VIP rewards. Let me actually go into walking you through how this kiosk is constructed. This is our web management console that's used to do such that. So you'll see here we've got our campaigns, our resources, and setup. Before we go into the campaigns, let's actually select the resources tab and actually walk you through the types of content that's supported on the iPad. So you've got images, from videos to audio to PDF documents to forms, product lists, and media lists. What we'll do is, while we're on the Forms tab, why don't we quickly go ahead and create a form. Now out of the box you can use a form to create surveys or to use enrollment forms for loyalty. So this is pretty quick and simple and nifty, where you can do something pretty effortlessly. No coding required here, and it's very straightforward out of the box. So while we're adding some of these fields, you'll notice that you've got field types such as text values, date values, Boolean values, floating number, and time. So you can build some pretty comprehensive forms with a tool like this, as well as put some pretty basic validations such as required or not required. So at this point we'll quickly save this form, and what we'll do is we'll use this in our kiosk. So we'll actually modify the current kiosk application. So when we click on campaigns, here's where we're actually going to modify the actual kiosk itself. So what you'll notice is you've got the ad loops tab. Here's where you can add as many ads as you want and actually set the order and determine whether it's enabled and all that other fun stuff. If you click on the navigation tab, this is essentially where a lot of the magic happens. This is where you can very quickly and easily control the flow of your kiosk, as well as the destination pages for each one of these nodes in the tree. So for example, if I selected the sign up for rewards node, you'll notice that I can very quickly and easily select a form that I've already built. I can also change the color of the buttons in the kiosk, as well as the text color. Even the background images for the kiosk, anything I pretty much want I can do here. You've got pretty good control of what's possible. So now that I've saved that, I can now save the actual kiosk and actually go to the assignment tab. And with this assign tab, you'll notice there's a username. Each kiosk in your store or in your environment has a specific username that it will synchronize to, which actually allows it to send down that kiosk information. So what we'll basically do is at this point, we'll actually publish the kiosk, and you'll notice on the action tab you can enable, disable a kiosk, publish, export statistics or export data. So it's actually, you can do some pretty powerful things. Now while that's publishing, let's quickly go to the kiosk tab, the kiosk application here, and walk you through the admin console on the actual iPad itself. Now what's neat about this is actually where you set the username and password for that actual for the kiosk account. Now the iPad will actually download the kiosk profile and store it locally, so you don't always have to be connected to use it. You can specify the start time and end time, the synchronization frequency. You can, if this is in a store setting, you can even give it a name and an ID. You can even turn off logs. And you'll also notice that right now it's actually synchronizing information. So what's neat about this is this will actually run over the AT&T wireless network or the Verizon network or your Wi-Fi store environment. And as this synchronizes and stores information, it actually uses your local storage on the iPad to actually store the kiosk profile itself, so you never have to be connected again once it downloads this information. The other thing I also want to mention is that it uses HTTP or HTTPS as the means to connect to our hosted environment. So now that it's finished successfully synchronizing, we can now see that we've added a form that you can now quickly catch some data on and synchronize that information back up to the server. So that's the end of our demo, and hope you found it useful.